For hard-earned thirst, you need a big cold beer. And that cold beer is ginger beer. You can get it playing White Room. You can get it playing with cream. You can get it playing with blind faith.
You can get it any old how. But as a matter of fact, I got it now. How are you? Chris Quinlan here, MelbourneMusos Facebook Live on Friday, the Sunday after one of the greats of rock drumming went to the great gig in the sky, Ginger Baker. Now, the lick of the century, okay, and regular watchers of Facebook Live and MelbourneMusos, I call it the lick of the century, and it closely gets followed with, if you couldn't do that, you were nothing. And that's the lick of the century is this. Right, there you go. Do you want me to explain it? What goes on is it's just, for me, and here, it's right, left foot. Okay? A lot of people just play it like that. No worries, you're only playing half the story, maybe only a third of the story, okay? It's not finished. That's great for little licks and all that, but if you're going to really do the lick of the century, right, back to the hi-hat yet again, okay? This is the drummer's secret weapon, okay? The hi-hat. The hi-hat. Bernard Purdy, thank you. You know, that kind of stuff. I'm trying to mention as many people as I can here. You know, that kind of thing. Because you've got to remember that was Bernard Purdy's golden time as well. The Purdy Shuffle was there, you know, everything, you know, that sort of business. And what goes on is that you've got to think, when you're thinking coordination, you've got to think like a diagonal, okay? So what happens is your right hand is with your left foot. So your first thing that you would do is actually play your floor tom with the hi-hat. Bass drum in between. Seeing it's a 5. Seeing I've talked 5/4 in White Room, why not do 5 here? 1, 2, 3, 4. Hippopotamus, hippopotamus. Then you put in your left hand to make the triplet. Got the picture? And there's that. So there's the lick of the century as applied to Ginger Baker, who was doing it before everybody else. You heard a bit of Buddy Rich doing it in jazz context in the 50s and things. And you can hear it smatterings, because it's, you know, there it is. But to build it up the way that Ginger Baker did it was a whole other thing. He took it to another level, sort of thing. And then what happens is you've got that going. Now what goes on then is that you move whatever hand you want to the snare drum for the accent. So if I'm going to do, say, a calypso, which is from Trinidad, but if you went to Africa, because I haven't even started talking about Ginger Baker's African influence and all that sort of stuff. This is going to be a long show tonight, people, so get a beer and get a ginger beer and have a sit down, because I'll be going for a while tonight. And what it is, with much love, and thoroughly enjoyed doing this research. And what it is when you're doing the lick of the century, like if you've got what we know best as a calypso, all that sort of business there. If you go across to Africa, there's another name for it, a sukos, right? It has actually many names. It just depends on what region you're in, okay? And it has different inflections in different regions, but essentially, that's a kind of a sukos rhythm, okay? Now, when you're actually doing the lick of the century, why not, when you're playing, when you're building it up, up. Do the accents with your right hand. And then our ginger started to move it around the toms a bit. Whoa, there you go. Now, this is a ginger secret weapon, okay? What happens is there's the lick of the century, okay? You hear Bonham do it, Ian Pace do it. Everybody did it, right? Still does it, okay? Sort of thing. Ginger was a master at it. He was one of the first, and he used to whinge. The gins used to whinge because, hang on, that was me, not that bloody Bonham mongrel. And all that sort of business that you'd see him do, you know. Keith Moon, That's the character of the man. You've got to laugh. Anyway, what happens? Here's his secret weapon, right? Now, this is the lick of the century, right? I'll break it down. I don't know how many times I've done that, and I still love it. It's beautiful. Anyway, it is. It's the lick of the century. It's the lick of the new century, too. But this is what he did. He took his left foot off the hi-hat, put it on his new bass drum on the left-hand side. He went, oh, how going there? Yeah, I might do that. You know, that kind of thing. And then he took the floor tom bit and then put it on the ride cymbal. It's a simple swap, okay? Now, if you do the same thing, I'm going to do the same lick. Right foot in. Same thing, right? Then I put the left hand in. Magic. So, this is what you got. You could do it all night, couldn't you?